Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome to another Tag Tuesday. Today I am going to try and tackle the Three Musketeers Tag. This tag was created by Beki at Teacup the Storyteller, and it's based on her massive love of the book, The Three Musketeers. And Beki is such a sweetheart and she has a great channel. I will link it in the description box below. I was tagged by Jennifer from Poetry Crone. Jennifer's channel is still fairly new and it focuses on poetry. And when she did this tag, she did it all with poetry, which I thought was pretty amazing. I will leave a link to Poetry Crone down below as well. So there are 12 prompts, so let's get started. Number 1, Alexandre Dumas was born in the 19th century. Do you have a favorite time period to read about? And if yes, what do you like about it? I don't know that I have a favorite. I have read many books set like in the 1940s because I've read a lot about the Second World War. I've read a lot of books, I think, set in the 1920s, and I do enjoy that time period. And I would say that now, like, I like reading books set in the 80s. I find those really nostalgic for me. But to say a favorite, I'm not really sure about a favorite. Number 2, Alexandre Dumas was born in France. Is there a French author whose book you'd recommend? Well, for this, I think I'm going to mention a French-Canadian. Obviously, I have to have a Canadian there. And that's Gabriel Roy, who wrote The Tin Flute. And this book has been recommended to me many times, and I still need to check it out. And number 3, Alexandre Dumas often based his novels on real events and historical figures. Is there a person from the past, artists, politicians, simply anyone, you would like to meet? Well, I've met a lot of really great people in my lifetime, but this is an interesting question because on Friday, I am meeting someone, a couple of people actually, who I will introduce all of you to. So it's a surprise, but I might be able to get that post out maybe sometime next week. And if you have any guesses of who that might be, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear who you think it might be. Number 4, Alexandre Dumas wrote some pretty chunky books. For example, The Count of Monte Cristo, which I still need to read. It's almost over 1,000 pages. As opposed to his son, Alexandre Dumas Jr., whose only book, The Lady of the Camellias, is less than 180 pages. What is the longest and shortest book you've read? Well, I had to look this up on Goodreads, but according to Goodreads, the longest book I've read comes in at 1,443 pages, and that is The Fiery Cross by Diana Gabaldon. Followed very close second at 1,440 pages, The Stand by Stephen King. I have several children's books that would fall into the category for the shortest book. But I would say We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, which comes in at 52 pages. So, 5, I don't think there is a video in which I wouldn't mention my favorite book. This is true. It does get mentioned often on Becky's channel, The Three Musketeers. Is there a book that you want everyone to know about? And then it can be your favorite book of all time or some recent read that you would recommend. My favorite book, and I've mentioned this before, is The Red Tent by Anita Diamant. Pride and Prejudice would now be up there for me. And recently, I would say Ordinary Grace by William Kent Kruger. I can't seem to get enough of that kind of book. It's really good. 6, one of the most famous quotes in literature, all for one, one for all, came from the pen of Alexandre Dumas. Do you keep track of your favorite quotes when reading? Do you have at least one quote that you'd like to share? And which book does it come from? So I like the idea of keeping track, and I have tried over the years, but I never stick with it. So I don't keep track. Ultimately, that's my answer. But I do have several quotes that I like. But I think for this, I'm going to choose something that maybe most people wouldn't know. And that's a young boy who wrote poetry, Maddie Stepanek. Maddie was known as a peace advocate, and he wrote 7 collections of poetry before he died at the age of 13 or 14 years old. And one of his quotes from one of his poetry books is, "Sad things happen, they do, but we don't need to live sad forever." Wise words for a young man. So number 7, The Three Musketeers is a book about strong friendship and allegiance. Do you have a favorite fictional friendship? Well, I do talk about female friendships in literature on my channel quite a bit. And I think for this one, I am going to choose something a little different. I loved this book, and I loved the friendship in Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. I adored it. It was just a true friendship and relationship of acceptance, and I just thought it was quite beautiful. Number 8, The Three Musketeers is a story with strong female characters who are brave, fearless, yet gentle and loving. However, some of them prove to be true evil. Do you have a favorite female fictional character? Who is it and why? So if you've been watching my channel, at least for a little bit, then you know that I love strong female characters. And I love Anne of Green Gables, for her spunk and curiosity and imagination. I love Ayla from Clan of the Cave Bear for her strength and resilience and resourcefulness. There's so many to choose from for that. Number 9, there are more than 50 film adaptations of The Three Musketeers. Is there a film adaptation, I can't speak today, that you enjoyed more than the actual book? And it doesn't have to be one of Dumas' books. That's good, because I don't know that I've ever seen any of those film adaptations. I'll be fine. I actually have several of these. I know they say the book is always better, than the film. And that is mostly true, but there are some exceptions. And for me, some of those exceptions would be like Forrest Gump. That was definitely better than the book. Girl Interrupted and The Perfect Storm. Love that movie so much better than the book. And there are others. 10. I own 3 editions of Three Musketeers. Is there a book you own more than one edition of? I have a few books that I own more than one edition. It's classics and more of my collectors, like Anne of Green Gables, those editions that I own. I showed those not too long ago, but a book that I own a hardback and a paperback of is Rick Hanson's Man in Motion. I have the hardback. I have the paperback, and Rick would actually be someone that I would love to meet. So it's not him that I'm meeting, but I've been inspired by him since I was a little kid, and I was, hoping to do some work with the Rick Hanson Foundation. And since I had a hardback already, they gave me the paperback, so that was kind of cool. Number 11, have you read The Three Musketeers or any other book by Alexandre Dumas? If yes, which one? I have not read The Three Musketeers or anything else by Dumas. I will have to remedy that so that I can see why Beki likes this book so much. And number 12, to tag some friends. I'm going to tag a couple of people that I don't think I've tagged in a while. I'm going to tag Rainier from Rainier Books, and I don't think that he's done this tag, and we're doing a buddy read together right now. And I will tag Laureen from Books at the Bottom of the Stairs. I will leave links to both of their channels below, so please check that out. That is all of the prompts for the Three Musketeers tag. Thanks again to Beki for creating this awesome tag, and to Jennifer for tagging me. I always appreciate that. Thanks to all of you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.